Hello everyone, Sawadee Kop. I'm really happy to have this chance to share with you this topic, like how I make a living with writing NFT on WordPress. Actually, when I submitted this topic like to the organizers, I was not so confident that it will be taken because NFT has such a bad name. I know that. Um, but I'm happy to admit it, and I'm happy that you're here to share with us my journey on making a living with writing NFTs. So to start with, I would like to have a very brief self-introduction, just to provide a context of like who I am, so that it fits better in like what I'm going to talk about. So right now I'm a full-time writer, and previously in the previous 15 years, I've published 4 books. The latest one called Moneyverse: How Money Works in the Multiverse. So, which is not a paper book, but an NFT book, which I published 3 months ago. So you buy the book by buying the NFT. Like owning the NFT means you have the true copy, the authentic copy of the book. Although the book itself is licensed in Creative Commons. I mean, the words itself is licensed in Creative Commons, which means everyone can get that for free. But if you want to support the cause, if you want to support me, if you think the book itself is good, you can buy the NFT. And then 3 years ago, I also published another book, which is in a more traditional way, a paper book called The Sociology of Blockchain. We imagining money, media, and democracy. I translated the titles, but it's a Chinese book, just to be clear. So, and other than that, I also blogs every week, and that's why I'm here, of course. And this is my site, which is actually just very typical WordPress site. I don't even use like fancy themes. I just use the most standard one, which is 2023 right now. I just stick with the standard ones, and I don't even use too many plugins. So I just blog every week. The latest post being a few days ago about this event. So this is my blog, and so this is me. Let's get into my sharing. So I know like NFT has a bad name. Like some of you may hate NFT. Actually, if you hate NFT, maybe you won't be here. Maybe you will be outside. Or if you hate NFT and you're here, maybe you are trying to do this to me. Hopefully not. So even God hates NFT. But I'm not here to judge. To be honest, I hate some NFT projects as well. But I mean, NFT itself is a neutral technology. Like even WordPress itself can be used to host like really bad like websites and very good websites. So let's not like influenced by what some NFT projects did in the past, and focus on like how we make good use of it of the technology. So to be clear, I'm not here to tell you like how to get rich by selling like or trading NFTs. Actually, he doesn't really get rich by selling NFT, but anyway. But instead, I'm trying to share how I turned my words, how I turned my blog posts into like mango sticky rice, like to feed myself. So to start with, I'd like to introduce the concept of Web3, which I'm sure many of you had heard of, but I still want to talk a little bit about it. So before what it is, let's talk about what it isn't. It's not like a new version of the web, not like a new version of a certain software, not like iOS like 14 and then you have 15, not like that. It's not also it's not the upgrade of a certain particular protocol, like new version of HTTP is not. It's more like a paradigm shift. It's more like how we understand the web as a whole. Like say start with so-called Web 1. So that was about 1990s when I was in the university, get on the web for the first time with Mosaic browser. So at that time, we usually compare the web to newspaper magazines. So things are static. You browse the web mainly means you're reading, consuming contents. That's what we understand as Web 1. And then about 10 years later, that's when WordPress started, 2003. Also when Facebook started, about that time. And there are the site, internet started to, a lot of sites start to emerge where you can produce so-called user-generated contents, which means like you don't only read, but you also write. You produce content. Like most of the websites and apps that we use today are based on Web 2 because you have certain amount of like inputs. Like you take photos, you blogs, you send messages, you send email, everything. So from TikTok to Facebook to like every popular program, basically a Web 2. So Web 3, we add an important element which didn't exist on Web 2, which is ownership. So now we have read, write, and ownership. And the reason that we have ownership added to internet, of course, is because of the emerge of blockchain technology, which today we'll not go deep into. But I just want to stress that the way I understand Web3, it's Web2 plus ownership added to the internet. If you are into the blockchain, probably you would have heard of this particular uh, service called Mirror. So you sometimes read, it's actually quite often that you read about like white papers or articles talking about the blockchain itself. It would be hosted on this mirror.xyz website, which called themselves the home for Web3 publishing. So I myself also had some articles. I actually, most of the time I write in Chinese, but I have a few English articles. So I have them published on the Mirror as well. But this is WordCamp, so of course I'm not going to talk about like how Mirror works because it has nothing to do with WordPress. What I'm going to share is instead how do we do the same thing on our own website, on our own domain name, and with WordPress. So we call that Writing NFT, the same name as the Mirror service. So to start with, you need a tool, of course, on website, which is you can just search for Web3 on WordPress, and you'll get like a bunch of plugins. Not that many as of today. So probably the fourth one would be the one that I'm going to introduce, which is called Web3 Press. Of course, you can also just search Web3 Press directly, and it should be in the first um, result. So they say it's fly me to WordPress Web3. And then you'll need another tool, which is a wallet software installed, wallet extension installed on your Chrome browser. You can also use another variant of Chrome called Brave, which is more for the blockchain users. Some relatively hardcore blockchain users would prefer another browser. Users would prefer another browser called Brave, which has the same core as Chrome. So I assume you'll use Chrome, and you just install this Kepler extension. And then this is actually the most like probably biggest entry barrier for new users. Not just entry barrier for new users of this particular writing NFT, but the entry barrier for like everything blockchain. You need an identity. So this is really really bad example that I'm setting, because you should never show your sick face to others, because if you do, others will be just able to take your money. So this wallet is empty, of course, and you have to write it down and create an identity for yourself. So and the next step is to get some so-called like coin from the faucet. So this is getting probably a little bit hard to understand, but think about it, it's not that hard, because say I just came to Bangkok like the day before yesterday. I'm from Hong Kong, you know. So when I come to Thailand, you spend a baht, the local currency. So I have to convert some of my money into baht so as to like live a life. So this is actually the same idea. To use anything in the blockchain, I need a new currency, different from a US dollar. And for this particular example, it's called Litecoin, L-I-K-E, like. But to convert in an exchange, like crypto exchange, is more troublesome. Or I'm not here to encourage you to like buy any crypto. So there's a service called faucet, which is literally a faucet, which will drop you some money, not a lot, but more than enough for you to like create some basic NFT to start with, so that you know what's happening before you really decide whether you are going to engage deeper in the community. So you go to faucet.light.co and you'll be guided to Discord to prove your identity and get a little bit amount of the coin. After that, you are ready to publish your first NFT. So I just did an example last night with an old article that I write about. So after I published the post, I opened the session of the plugin, and then I can do publish. But this publish is different from like the publish in WordPress. We all know the publish in WordPress means I'm writing the article, I'm writing the blog post to my own database, like my SQL. While this publish is decentralized publishing, which means you are storing the content on the decentralized publishing infrastructure of Web3, so AKA IPFS, if you have heard of that. I'm not going to go deep into that, but you are basically storing your content in an immutable way. So even if, just in case my site go down or go away completely, the record, the content will still be hosted on like in a distributed way on many servers. So you do this, publish it on the blockchain, and get what is called an ISCN. I'm sure you have heard of, I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of ISCN, but I'm sure you have heard of ISBN, which is International Standard Book Number. So this is something very similar. So it's International Standard Content Number, which means, which is like a blockchain version of ISBN. So you have your article. It can also be applied to images. You get a unique number for your blog post and have the metadata written to the blockchain. It's very like if you are like old guy like me, when you went to the library like 20 years ago, before the libraries are even computerized, you search for books like this way. Each card represents a book. So you have the metadata of the book, including the name of the book, the author of the book, the publisher, and etc., including one very important information, which is where to find the book, which bookshelf to find the book. So ISBN is something very similar to this. You have a unique number for your article, and people know where to find the article. It's different from URL. I mean, it's a supplementary information to URL. And then with that, you can proceed with minting your NFT, so-called minting, which is like publishing your article as NFT. So you can do some setting, customization of the NFT, like what cover photo to use, and then the OG title, OG introduction, and etc. And then you'll get it. You'll have the NFT created in a few seconds. So this is a real example that I did last night. And then with that, you'll have the writing NFT, I mean the record installed right below the article. So after people read your article or read your blog post, and if they like it, they can just collect the NFT to own your article, to show the appreciation, and have the article shown in their Web3 bookshelf. And your writing NFT will also appear on another website, which is called Likeland. So you have, let's say, it's a marketplace for your articles. So this is my profile page. You can see I just published this article on WordCamp and WordPress like a few days ago. And then I just did that last night as a demonstration for this sharing. After that, I started to get revenue because some readers are starting to collect my article as NFT. So I get like that article that I posted on Wednesday get a better income, like 1,024 like, and then these will get 64 like. So you may wonder, like, what's the point of getting like? So I get a lot of likes on Facebook, but it's never like I can never use my like to get my mango sticky rice. But this like in capital is a little bit different, but significantly different from likes on Facebook. So it's a crypto token that can be converted into other currencies, including, I'm sure you have heard of Bitcoin. But here I use an example which is probably more easier to understand, which is USDC, a stable coin that's pegged to USD. So this is the latest, at least this is the price for last night. So 100 Litecoin will convert to like 0.22 USDC. So this is how it works. And the next step, I mean, if I'm going to spend it, the next step would be there are some crypto debit cards. It just works like a Visa that you can use, and in the back end they will spend cryptocurrency like USDC instead of like charging your bank. So this is exactly what I did last night. I just brought some biscuits in Family Mart nearby with this card, and the card spent the USDC which came from Litecoin. So this is the whole flow of it. And so now I just went through the whole process, like how I did it. So I block every week, February 1st, and then 1 week, and then 1 week. I block every week. And then people buy my articles as NFT, and then I use the cryptocurrency that I earned and turn it into USDC and spend it with a debit card, a Visa card, and the restaurant actually doesn't have to understand or doesn't have to heard about Bitcoin at all or cryptocurrency at all, because what they are getting is just like a typical Visa card, although in the back is charged in cryptocurrency. So the whole flow works this way. So this is a real example as well. This is how the amount of money that I made in 2 months. So not a lot, but enough for me to buy my rice. And the good thing is I didn't compromise anything, because I don't have to set up a paywall for my content. I don't have to put advertisement on my blog. So other than spending converting the money into US dollar and spend it, you can of course also use the same coin to support other creators, and this is what I did. So other than others readers buying my NFTs, I'm also a reader for other writers, right? So I also buy the NFT for them. And so this is almost the end of my sharing. I'll just do a simple recap. So you need 2 tools to start with. The one is plugin for WordPress called WordPress, and the other is Kepler, which is a browser extension on Chrome. And then you may have to go to these 2 websites. It's not mandatory, but if you are to maybe convert your token, if you are to buy others NFT, or to have a full view of what you publish, you can go to this website. If you are to do money conversion exchange, you can go to Osmosis. And this is basically the end of my presentation, which is actually also available on my blog. You can go to my blog with WC Asia 2023. I didn't mint it as an NFT, but if you want, I can. And then, I mean, if you really want to buy, I can do it. But I just did it and I didn't mint it. So it's available here, and I'm happy to take questions if there's any.
Okay, well,
thank
you very much. Big round of applause for Kinko. We have a couple